back to Coffee and Candor. This is Brandy,
Amber,
Chris,
and Ross.
And we're going to talk about
drugs.
The drugs. Because on Election Day, what was that?
I think that's your watch. Your watch?
Yeah, bitch. He said, here's some information.
I didn't catch
did you
that.
say
She heard
really?
she heard her talking about Election Day, so she's
Yeah, that's probably what it
No,
was.
it had a thing of it had a picture, and it was drugs. It was like, oh, you want to know about drugs, do you?
Where to buy?
Yeah. Ooh, girl, keep it on the deal.
Distillers near you.
Yeah, no shit.
Ranked with their Yelp reviews.
Oh, God, that'd be so funny. That'd be awesome.
Will not buy here again. My third eye's been open for 6 months. But
I've been eating these maggots with my hair chopsticks.
Oh, my God.
Really?
gross.
But in the election that we had last week, several more states went to...
This is about the only thing that got settled.
Yeah, that's not still...
Up for litigation and all that.
Several more states voted in medical marijuana. Then several more went to recreational use.
See, here's what I've been saying about that. And I've been saying this for over a decade now. If they legalized, not decriminalized, but legalized recreational marijuana at the federal level and taxed it like they do cigarettes or alcohol, we would have a zero national debt in about 2 years.
But like I said, I think the big problem is, like treating it like alcohol. Alcohol, if someone's behind the wheel or something,
right,
you can blow into a machine and it'll show you whether you've been drinking. They don't have anything like that for marijuana, and I think that's
they know
a big
you have it
issue.
in your system.
But they don't know the concentration.
They know you have it in your system, but they don't know if you smoked it 10 minutes ago
or 10 hours ago.
Or hell, 3 days ago, to be honest.
Well, no, you don't stay high for 3 days.
But it tests positive for THC.
But you're not impaired for 3 days.
But you're not impaired.
Right.
Yeah, they need
That's
an
what I'm saying.
impairment test.
Yeah. But
at the same time, but like I said, at the same time, it doesn't impair you in the same way that being drunk does.
No, it doesn't.
I mean,
yeah, but you don't.
And
want,
nobody gets high.
If you're an employer, you don't want someone sitting there just like
zoned out.
when they're supposed to be doing their job.
I get that, but
I don't want somebody sitting there slurring their fucking words trying to do their job either. Honestly,
right. That's what I'm saying. You don't want impaired people working.
Right, but like in Arkansas, for example, if they made recreational marijuana legal and just taxed it like they do cigarettes or alcohol or fucking gasoline or anything, we wouldn't have to have a state income tax. I'm telling you, when they did that shit in Colorado was one of the first places to legalize it recreationally. They made so much fucking money in weed tax revenue.
They're giving that shit away to people.
That not only did nobody have to pay any more income tax, they sent out fucking refunds because they had it was like some stupid amount, like $150 million extra, just because of that. I mean, we could do so much with that. I mean, improved roads, improved infrastructure, and what?
I just looked that up.
I was on a fucking roll here.
June 12th, 2019.
Okay.
Colorado passed $1 billion in state revenue from marijuana sales.
That's more than Arkansas brings in from fucking state income tax. I guarantee you.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
And
so that's 7% more on your paycheck
that you'd have.
Yeah, and you could smoke a joint right before you go to bed and sleep through the night, which I haven't done in goddamn 3 years.
Well, what I think is interesting and what started this debate is that we, in Oregon, they actually decriminalized all drugs, like big-time drugs, coke, heroin, meth, whatever. And that they did not make them recreationally legal. They did not make them legal.
That's where I was fucked up. I thought that they had legalized them.
They decriminalized them, and so now if you're caught with them, instead of a criminal penalty, they send you to rehab. Which, I mean, I guess that's up to a certain amount, right? Yeah, I'm sure. If you're like dealing,
I heard the term anything less than a commercial amount.
Right.
And I think that's an ambiguous term.
Right. I don't know what they're...
And they may have that, spelled out.
And I mean...
Yeah,
Amber,
I think they'd probably have to.
Amber brought up a good point about that. I mean, on the one hand, I'm glad that people that have drug problems aren't going to be clogging up our jails, in that area.
I think it's better to send them to rehab than jail, but if you don't want help, it's not going to
It's just like if they send you to jail and you're not ready to change your life,
yeah,
you're not going to do better.
Well, hold on. There was a YouTuber I was watching, and she had started going to jail when she was 12. She was out on the streets. Drugs, still,
just
whatever. And she was...
giving handies in the Kroger parking lot.
21 at the time, and she got in trouble for something minor. And they were like, I can't remember what state this was in, but they were like, okay, we're tired of this. You're going to jail for 3 years.
Because this was like she had
gotten into a fight.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was. And they're like, you're going to jail 3 years. And she said, of course, she found God and everything in prison.
Yeah.
That's where he lives, obviously.
She said, it's good that they gave me 3 years. She said, because for the first 18 months, I was doing everything in jail that I was doing on the streets.
Yeah, give her the actual time to dry out and do better.
So, I mean, you can either have someone... I mean, like I said, it's not going to help them unless they really want it. But it's better than prison.
By that time, she had decided, this is not working for me. I got to do better with my life. And so she had the time to turn around. And if you don't have that moment, I don't care if it's rehab or jail...
Or anything.
It's not going to
in those 18 months, she was still doing drugs like she was
because
on the
let me tell you, you can get it easier in there than you can out here.
Yeah.
But here's the only issue that I have. If you commit a crime to support your drug habit...
Well, that's different.
Fuck your rehab. You need to go to prison.
They will send you to prison for that crime.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just something if you have it on you.
With your catching drug charges.
Yeah.
Strictly...
Right.
Just like, if you got pulled over on a traffic stop and you had a meth pipe, so put your meth pipe away. And
Charlie, hold on.
Uh-oh, blind dog in the cords. Bad day.
Oh, stop it.
That was ridiculous.
I know, Chris.
Touched him. And he got, startled.
Hold on. I got to untangle the dog. Stop it.
What a fucking dickhead.
What a shit show.
I think we're going to have to start him on the aspirin again. I think his neck is...
Well, I'll tell you what we're not doing. We're not taking him to the vet for $1,500 so they can do laser
Maybe try that
therapy on him.
glucosamine. Oh,
yeah,
now his neck's all
they might give
funny.
him some, what's it called? It starts with a C.
It's okay.
Crack.
It's like a pain. It's
Yeah.
like aspirin. But I'm not doing those damn laser treatments again. That shit was way too expensive.
Yeah, that was $1,500 It was cute that he wore the goggles. But damn.
But for years, he hasn't had a problem for years. But shit.
Yeah, it was also $1,500
Of course, he's a lot older now.
Yeah.
So he might not respond to it the way he did.
But fuck, what were we talking about?
We were talking about drugs.
Yeah, well, I know that.
To put your meth pipe down. So basically,
No. Mine would be a weed pipe.
I'm kidding, but
I'm not.
The thing is, if you commit a crime to get your drugs or whatever, that's different. It's just things that normally that are just drug charges, like for possession and things like that.
See, but if they did that, states that have a reasonable income tax rate. I'm not talking New York or California or any of those that have stupid ass high tax rates, but normal tax rate states, you could get rid of your state income tax and have more money than you know what to fucking do with. And I've been saying that for at least 10 years.
But I've been saying that about when we were trying to get the lottery in. I was like, look at all the things that we could do infrastructure wise with that money, but we were
oh yeah.
I get so people you know what pisses me off? People.
That's it. Period.
It. People.
Actually,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
that's the extent of it.
But okay.
Next video.
Moving on.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
But okay. And I'm thinking of someone specific in my life. I'm not going to name them, but Ross will know exactly who I mean. They want to be
Just let it fly.
No, I think...
No.
Oh.
But they would be all holier than thou about adultery and marriages.
I'm pretty holier than thou about adultery, though.
Yeah, you're on your first marriage, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you make it sound like I've got 5 more lined up.
Not
No,
your
not saying that you were
sixth.
married and cheated on your wife, got divorced, went to the next one and cheated. And
When,
Oh,
you've,
I
been
see,
married,
I
when
see,
you've been married
I see.
5 times,
like the people in church that were
Yes.
talking, they've been remarried and they want
I
to
don't
give.
want
Oh,
to hear
yeah.
you go off
Is
about
that
the
how
same.
many? 5 times?
Yeah, I don't want to
Holy
hear about the
shit.
sanctity of marriage from some motherfucker that's been married 5 times.
Yeah.
What? 1 through 4 weren't sanctified? What the fuck? You know, I mean, like,
No.
you know, like
1 through 4 were whores.
I'm like this liberal whoremonger bitch. I've been married 1 time. I got pregnant twice. I raised 2 children. Like, really,
With the same person.
right? I mean, it's hilarious to me that I'm the like
Pariah.
The evil.
pariah, but I did all the traditional things, and then, you know, I was married before I was pregnant. I raised my babies with their daddy. We're grandparents together. Like, I'm very out there, but I've also lived this very traditional life. And you're going to preach to me about morals? Fuck you in your butthole. Okay, like, it just.
That's one of my favorite words, by the way. Butthole. I don't know why. I just think it's funny.
And most of the people that you hear going off about shit like that are people like that. I'm like, really? You know? Tell me
like-
about the sanctity of your 5th marriage.
Yeah, it's like
It's like when we went to church, they had this whole video.
oh, Jesus Christ on a
thing
cracker.
with people sitting there, married couples, talking about marriages and what you should and shouldn't do and all this. And these are people that have been married and divorced and married and
And are currently
divorced.
cheating on their spouses.
My favorite was the one couple of fuck nuggets who said that every problem that their marriages had is because they had sex before they were married.
Yeah, premarital
I'm like,
sex, it's the devil.
I'm like, all right, listen, if your money problems are because you had sex before you were married,
Your wife wasn't charging enough.
yeah, I don't know how you can connect those two. That's a hell of a jump.
Yeah, well, that's just, but that's really like when I see people like that. That's what they do. They make these huge leaps, and you're like, what now?
Yeah, it's like no, those things don't correlate at all.
We like to call those coincidences.
Yeah. Well, what? No. Oh, okay. I am sure that there are people who wait until they're married to have the relations.
Yeah, wasn't me.
Well, it wasn't us either. But here's the thing. Number one, that seems a little bit irresponsible because what if you get married and you're not sexually compatible?
Right, and what if you
That's
like
a big fucking problem.
You think you're into them because okay, I'm gonna
What
say.
if the guy has a micro penis?
Well, no. What? Like,
What if the girl has a macro
there were
clit?
guys? There were guys I dated that I genuinely thought I had feelings for, and they were hot until they touched me, and then my soul curled
like,
up
ugh,
in my body and
something's
died and
wrong.
tried to flee the premises. What if that happened after you were married? You're like, oh shit! Now I've married this person, and his touch makes me throw up in my mouth. Oh shit! Now what are you gonna do?
Exactly. Not saying that being a whore is the way to go either.
No, but
you
know.
You know, it's the same thing with people.
You go to buy lunch meat. You try a little bit at the deli.
I don't. I just buy it and hope for the best.
There's your problem.
It's like people have a problem with people living together before they get married.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Oh, you don't know someone till you live with them.
yeah,
You really don't.
What if you move in with someone? What if you've gotten married and you finally move in and you find out they're a fucking hoarder?
Or you're just completely like the way you like to live, like it is completely incompatible. One of you is a neat freak, the other one
One's a
is
minimalist, one's a maximalist.
yeah.
No,
One-
that's a hoarder. That's a hoarder. Is what
Well,
that
you
is.
know,
No, that's different.
One of them likes everything in its place, and one is a whirling dervish of mess. I mean, those are things that are not going to be. You're not going to be
Yeah,
happy.
those are going to be irreconcilable.
Yeah, you know.
The way he eats drives you crazy. The way he
Chewing up and
breathes.
down.
over and in and out and in and out. It makes me
I
want to
remember
stab
one of
him.
those friends in Germany. One night she was just getting onto her husband because of the way he was smoking a cigarette.
Oh yeah, but that crazy bitch got onto his ass
I mean,
for everything.
she was getting into his ass. She's like,
What was wrong?
I can't
with the
remember.
ladies'
No,
marriage?
maybe he
there
was
was-
blowing it out his nose.
There,
or
there
something. I
wasn't
don't
anything
know.
wrong. She was fucking crazy, and he couldn't.
She was just like jumping on his.
When I say
everything.
crazy, I mean
It's seriously
You-
like one of those you breathe in and out.
yeah. You hear
Over and
you hear
over.
about this bitch is crazy. She was
was one
fucking
of them.
crazy. And there wasn't shit that he was doing wrong.
No.
But Jesus Christ! And then they'd get in an argument, and go to take a walk around the block, and instead of letting him fucking cool off,
chase him.
she'd fucking chase after him. It's like, hey, you know what? When
One
you get
time-
punched in the mouth for that shit, that's on
One
you.
time she tried
He
to go
do
after
the right
him,
thing.
so I went with her. We just sat on the bench outside the apartment, you know, trying to let her cool off.
Just fucking
Yeah.
nonstop
not go
drama.
after him. Oh my God, Brandy! A car drove by. It goes past this building. Maybe a minute later, her husband comes around because it was a big loop.
Yeah.
Loop